Day 4 has brought the possibility of rain, a new set of special tests and spectacular transfer sections throughout the Sardinian countryside. It's on these sections where, even though it's quite straightforward for the World Trophy competitors, for the women trophy riders, when conditions get tough, that's when the time penalties start to creep in.
And with a whole new set of stages on this, the 4th day ahead of them, it would prove costly for our top women's trophy riders. First on the day, once more, was number 403, Jessica Gardner, riding her Sherco bike. She would lose 1 minute in penalties, but still come home just clear of her teammate, Gemma Wilson. She also got a 1 minute time penalty, so both of the two top Australian women getting to a time penalty each. The third of those, Taylor Jones, lost 2 minutes, and she wasn't going to get her score counted today because of the other two girls being a little bit faster. All in all, a good solid day's ride on the new trails for all of the Australian girls. Jessica Johnson also got a time penalty, number 404, the Swedish rider, dropping just 1 minute, but her teammate, Emily Karlsson, was the only female rider not to drop any time penalties at all. She's adapting to a new bike this week and a whole new change in suspension. So she has got a little bit of work to do, but she's coming good towards the end of the week. For France, Audrey Rosat was 6th overall on the day. She also lost a 1 minute penalty and put the French solidly back into 3rd position. Shelby Turner didn't have such a good day for Canada this time. Number 607 lost 7 minutes down on the fastest times of the day. 6 minutes of that was from time penalties. Lexi Pachut in Canada a little bit further back, but the Canadian girls coming a little bit better towards the end of the week, finding their feet a little bit more as the dust starts to settle. Let's hear from Emily Karlsson.
No, I'm getting there. It's a new bike for me and all that, so I've been struggling a bit. Normally I'm on a Yamaha and now I'm on a Hasselberg, so it's a bit different. Never been on a Hasselberg before, so I'm getting there. The suspension and everything, so I changed the shock and all that this morning, and yeah, improved a bit. This day 4 is it today? Yeah, day 4. So yeah, I'm getting there. Hopefully I can just go better tomorrow again. So yeah.
So the Swedish team, stronger this year, still haven't quite got enough to overtake Australia, with 10 minutes separating the top two. France in 3rd. On to the Junior World Trophy, and France have got a better run going in this at the moment. A spectacular aerial shot there of this, one of the great motocross tests of this week. They're going to be seeing it again on day 5, and it was Loic Larrieux who once more was the fastest of the French riders. These guys were just absolutely blitzing it around. Matthias Bellino was 2nd once again, and he is getting it handed to him a little bit by his younger French teammate. He did have one serious problem though, when the mousse on his rear tyre, which you can see there, blew out on one of the transition stages on the way to the final stage. So he had to repair that, and Matthias Bellino lost a bit of time, just making an awful lot of mess in the time control. He got back on stage and did well in the final test to keep his place. Rudy Moroni was the fastest of the Italians, just ahead of Giacomo Redondi. And then Gianluca Martini, number 39, was the 3rd Italian home. All 4 of the Italian riders were within 15 seconds of each other, which shows just how competitive all of them are. They haven't got the outright speed of the French riders, but as a team, it doesn't matter if one of them were to drop out, whereas if one of the 2 top French riders were to drop out, all sorts of things could change. The gap between these guys has barely increased over the last 2 days. France just holding on to a slender lead from the chasing Italian hordes. Behind the 2 strokes of the Italians once more, it was the 2 McCanny brothers. Jamie McCanny once again proving to be the faster of the 2. Really enjoying riding his 2-stroke around these trails, and everybody having a better day's riding. Danny McCanny not quite got the pace of his brother at the moment, but still riding well. 300cc gas just tearing around the Sardinian countryside. Caleb Russell was once again the fastest of the Americans, but not keeping up with the best of the Europeans on day 4. He'll be back with a vengeance on day 5, having got to know the tests a little bit better. And a special shout out to Thomas McCormack, the Australian rider. He was the 3rd E1 rider on the day and having an absolute ripper, helping the Australian team move up closer to the USA. Let's hear from one of our Italians, Gianluca Martini. Today was a good day. We ended the day 2nd and a little closer to the French. And we've got 4 positive riders, and I had a pretty good day. So with 2 more days to go, we're closer to the French, and we hope that we can make up the 2 minutes or so that we need. So there we go, France leading Italy by 3 minutes and 13 seconds. Great Britain losing a little bit more time, but still well clear of the USA in 4th. And the World Trophy for day 4 was a very good start once more for France, and Antoine Mio had his best day so far. He started just behind Australia's Daniel Milner, but reasserted his dominance that he'd lost for one day. Beautiful shot there of Antoine Mio getting started on the motocross test and ripping that 300cc KTM around. He did have a little bit of problem towards the end of the day. That nice shiny exhaust on his KTM is going to take a battering, and when it came to the close of play, he was thinking about replacing it in Parc Fermé. There's the new one to go on, and Antoine Mio got the extra allocated time to make the changes, get it on, get it noise tested, and he'll be back with a shiny exhaust for tomorrow. Second of the French riders, and second in Enduro 2 today, was Pierre-Alexandre René, the Husaberg rider, having a solid day. Still not quite able to catch the Australian Daniel Milner, but he was faster this time than Johnny Olbia, who dropped from 2nd and 3rd normally in Enduro 2 to 5th. Olbia losing touch slightly on day 4, though, as is his style, being an ex-motocross rider, he was loving this motocross test. We'll see more of it tomorrow before we have the final live event on Saturday. Fourth Frenchman home was Jeremy Joly. He was 2nd in E1, and he's been enjoying a pretty good battle with the Spanish rider Cristobal Guerrero for overall supremacy in the smallest bikes category. But he had a good ride today and kept them all going. Roderick Thane has not had the best week in E3 or at all. He's not yet had a point-scoring finish or a time counted for the French team, and is not very happy at the end of the most of the tests. Been throwing his bike about a little bit, but surely it will come eventually. Josh Strang this time took the overall honours for the Australian team. He was the 3rd fastest in Enduro 2 and credited that down to a change in the tyre that he is using. Much happier than he was one day ago, and he was faster than Daniel Milner. He was 4th in Enduro 2. The first time he's really started to drop away from the top positions in that category, and indeed overall. He lost about 43 seconds to Antoine Mio in the race to be fastest home. Chris Hollis was the 3rd Australian again. The Australian top 3 moving ever slightly closer to the front and helping to move them back ahead of the Americans. For the Americans, it was Taylor Robert again on the Kawasaki. He'd replayed the front brake line, but watch the speed he's carrying there now, knowing that he's got full control back of his Kawasaki. Really enjoying these tests today, and he put himself home as the top American rider on day 4, just ahead of Kurt Caselli, the factory KTM FMF rider, having a good solid day, moving up to 2nd out of the American riders home. Everybody enjoying the slight changes of terrain for this 4th day. 3rd home was going to be Zach Osborne. We haven't seen much of the AMA Supercross and Motocross style, but you can see his style there, really using his body so much, getting it way off the bike, a lot more than some of the pure Enduro guys. For Italy, Alex Salvini had a pretty good day. He was second on the day, the fastest Enduro 2 rider. He was only one of the people other than Antoine Mio to come in with a 47 minutes total for the day. Everybody else was in 48 minutes or above. Manuel Moni was one of those. He was almost 2 minutes slower than Salvini and was the second of the Italian riders home, ahead of Oscar Belletti and Simone Albergoni. He wasn't scoring on his HM Zanardo Honda. Oscar Belletti once again doing a solid performance, but yet to really trouble the top scorers. It is the performances of Salvini that are dragging the Italian team back up into any sort of contention, and they're still vying with the USA for a final podium position. For Spain, Cristobal Guerrero once again dominating in Enduro 1, just holding that gap over Jeremy Jolly. First once more, but the second Spaniard home behind Ivan Cervantes, this man. Nice little onboard start there from Cervantes. He was still consistent in Enduro 2, but lost a little bit of time in his overall standings in that class, the most competitive of the three classes. Oriol Mena was the third rider home, 9th in Enduro 3 and 9th in total in Enduro 3 for the week. Let's hear from HN Honda Zanardi's Alex Salvini.
No, today was sure it was better than the day past. At least I don't get any injury or technical problem or dust from other rider. The bike working good. My arm getting better and better. Now the pain is not too much and I can ride more, more comfortable. And yes, today it was a good day. I finished second in the overall. I won the class, and we will see tomorrow. I will try to get the overall as well.
Strong words there from Salvini, but he is fired up again after throwing his bike at a mechanic earlier on in the race. France from Australia and the USA.
So all of our world team riders are in, and most of the big names have survived up to day 4. There are still club riders streaming into this, the final time check before the paddock, and there will be for a while yet. Such is the size of the field in this centenary year of the FIM International 6 Days of Enduro.